Hello again, Scratch learners. This is going to be a quickie, I think, of just doing one of the things that's basic in Scratch, which is a little bit of animation. So I'm going to start with a brand new project, and here is our sprite Scratch, and I'm going to put Scratch there, and I'm going to give a background so that we have a background to animate against. And let's start with the Arctic. There we go. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to have the cat animate and walk across a couple of different scenes and then interact with another sprite. So let's start with this here, and as always, we will start with some code. So when the flag is clicked, I'm going to make sure that it goes back to that spot because it is going to be moving around during the animation, and I'm going to have it tell us it wants to go on a holiday. This winter is too much, and I need a holiday at the beach. Okay. And then what I'll do is, well, let's just try this and I'll show you what that looks like. So there we go. This winter is too much. I need a holiday at the beach. Okay. For doing the animation, there's two things that are going to be happening. And there's lots of different ways of doing animation. This is a simple one that gets us thinking about what needs to happen during an animation. So what's going to happen is that the cat is going to move across the screen. So there's motion. And the cat is also going to be moving its legs. So there is animation happening with that as well. Let me put the motion in there first of all. I'm going to use a glide because I do want to see the motion. So I'll drag it over to where I want it to end up. And I'm going to take it right to the edge so that it is walking off the stage. And I'm going to have it glide to that position. So like that. Okay. And then it's going to walk into the next scene. Now, the other thing that needs to happen is the legs need to be going. Because I want the legs to be going at the same time that it's gliding, I need to have that in a different script, because in the script, the instructions go one at a time. And when an instruction is complete, then it goes on to the next one. So if I want to do the walking, I have to set that as a separate script, also triggered when the flag is clicked. And I'm going to have it change costumes between the two costumes that it has. And the cat, very simple, has these two. So it's not the smoothest animation, but it'll give us the idea of what's happening. And I need that to keep happening for a long time. I don't think I want to have it go forever, but I'll just have it repeat 10 times for now. That it is going to go to the next costume. And then a little bit of a pause. Otherwise, it looks like the feet are going way too fast. So a little bit of pause, so 0.15. That's one of those things that you just adjust until it looks right. So that looks great, except, well, here's what's happening, is the legs are going as he is talking, and the 10 times are up by the time that he actually starts moving. So we need to have a wait, we need to have a wait before it starts moving the legs, and it needs to wait 2 seconds and 2 seconds, and so that's a total of 4 seconds before it starts moving its little legs. So 4 seconds. There we go. So it says its thing. It moves over there. And then what's going to happen is it's going to move onto a new background. So let's go to the backgrounds and pick a new one. Let's see, from the Arctic to, let's go past a mountain. That looks nice. So what I'm going to do is, after it has glided over to the right hand side, is it is going to change the backdrop to the mountain. And I'd also better put in that at the very beginning I want to switch the backdrop to the Arctic. So let's try that. Says its things, walks to the side, and then the set changes. Now, when the set changes, not only does or when the background changes, not only do we want the background to change, but also the cat needs to be back over on the left-hand side and then walk across whatever the backdrop is to get over to the right-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the cat appear over on the left-hand side. Since that is something where I don't want to see the cat move over to the left-hand side, I'm going to make that a go-to, so it just jumps there. And I'm going to, again, drag the cat over to the right-hand side. And I'm going to say glide to that one. And let's see how that looks. And we've got the walking, and it looks perfect. I could change how long it took to walk. If I change the glide time to make the numbers larger, then it will take longer. It'll be a slower walk, and that's fine. It looks like the legs have stopped moving at about the right time, and if the legs are not moving long enough, then I can just change the repeat to a higher number, and if they're moving too long, I can change the repeat to a lower number. So I'm going to add a couple more scenes in and get to the beach, and then we'll build from there to get some interaction with another sprite. Okay, I've added some more scenes in. Took me 0 time through the magic of editing, and here's what I've got over in the code for what's happening is it's repeated the same thing over again. You switch a backdrop, go to the left-hand side, glide over to the right-hand side. Switch a backdrop, go to the left-hand side, glide to the right-hand side, etc., etc. So here's how it's looking so far. There he goes across the screen and onto the beach. And I think that looks pretty good. If the leg timing wasn't right, then I could adjust this number right here. It looked like I've got on just it's a little bit too much. So there we are. And when the cat gets to the beach, there's going to be a friend of theirs there, and they're going to have a little dialogue. I think first of all, I'll add in some happiness on the part of the cat that this is where they want to be. I'll have them say this is better. Okay, so let's go and add a friend onto the beach, and I'm going to make their friend, I like the dinosaur, right there. So I'm going to have the dinosaur when they're talking. I'll put the dinosaur about right there. So let's put that there and go to that spot. I want to have them facing towards the left, though, not towards the right. So let's bring that and have it like that. Now, when I do that, you can see the dinosaur is going to be up on their heads. So I don't want them spinning upside down, so they're floating upside down in the air. So I'm going to set the rotation style to left, right, and that's what we get. Oh, I don't want to go through the whole thing. But that's what we get is the dinosaur is now correctly oriented and facing towards the left. Here's also a problem that can come up is when I click the flag, I don't want to see the dinosaur until we get to the beach scene. So I'm going to hide the dinosaur. And let's take a look here. Now, when this happens, I want the dinosaur to appear and start doing things when they get to the beach. So when they get to Beach Rio, that's when the dinosaur starts doing things. So if I go back to the code here, for a trigger, I could put a really long wait in here and count how many seconds it takes for the cat to get to the beach. But the other thing I can do is under events, I can have the trigger of when the backdrop switches to Beach Rio. And when the backdrop switches to Beach Rio, let's take a look here. The cat is going to be gliding for half a second and then saying this is better for 2 seconds. So I'm going to have a wait here of 2.5 seconds. Let's just put there 2.5 seconds. And then we'll have the Dinosaur greet the cat. Hey, glad you made it. So this should work out. Oh, and the other thing we need to do is we need to show as soon as the backdrop switches. So the dinosaur is hidden. The cat does the thing with walking across the screen and showing up at the beach, and perfect. They are not talking over top of each other. Now the cat is going to then have a little dialogue with the dinosaur. We'll get to that in a second. But what we can do is, since all of this main action is happening when the cat gets to the beach, what I can do is I can put that trigger in for the cat as well. And I can just take all this after switch backdrop to Beach Rio. I can bring all that over there. And that should set it up so that instead of it being triggered by the flag, oh, I forgot to have it go to that spot. No, I didn't. Well, I will leave this down under here and see if that makes the difference. I think that'll probably make the difference because it didn't quite trigger when it was time to go to that spot. Here we go. And glide 0.5 seconds to... I think what I will do is I will just put this here and I will have it wait 0.5 seconds. I could use a broadcast message to take care of that, but I'm just going to go for the easiest way to do it and do that like that. And I think that should work. Perfect. Except it doesn't say this is better. Oh, change to backdrop 1. That's why. So I need to go and have it changed to Beach Rio. I bet now this whole thing would work if I do that because I didn't have the correct backdrop. You'd probably notice that by now. Okay, one more try and then hopefully we can build on the conversation. And yes, that is better. And then they start their conversation. Okay, so to have the conversation, what we can do is a number of different things, but one way we can do it is we can just use waits to control when they are speaking. So if the dinosaur is saying, hey, glad you made it for 2 seconds, then the cat needs to wait 2 seconds before saying anything. And I'm going to have cat say want to hear a joke. And the dinosaur, I'm going to have the dinosaur wait for 2 seconds while the cat's talking. And then say sure. Now I know that I'm going to have the dinosaur say other things, and since they are going to be waiting 2 seconds while the other talks over and over again, I'm just going to duplicate this chunk of code a couple of times here and have some extras there. So, hey, glad you made it. Do you want to hear a joke? Sure. And it's going to be a riddle. So I'll just have the dinosaur say, I don't know. And going back to the cat, after the cat says, want to hear a joke, the dinosaur says, sure, for 2 seconds. And again, I'm just going to make some copies of this. And I'll leave that one over there in case I need more. So I want to hear a joke. And let's have that old riddle. What do you get when you cross a volcano with a vegetable? What do you get when you cross a volcano with a vegetable? And the dinosaur says, I don't know. And then we get the punchline of the joke, which is a lavocado. Kind of a dad joke, but I think it's pretty good. So I'll just put all that there. So if you want to see, this is going to be the final code for the cat. So if you want to pause and take a look at that, you can go ahead. And if you want to pause and take a look at the dinosaur, oh, I should have him finish off. And they'll say, haha, good one. Okay, so there's the code for the dinosaur. If you want to have that and copy that, you can go ahead and pause and take a look at that. And now we will run this and see how our little animation works. Looking good so far. Hey, glad you made it. The joke. There we go. So the basics of animation is we've got movement happening. At the same time, we've got movement. We've got costume changes to make it look like the sprite is not just changing position, but actually moving their body. And then we've got a scene at the end where the dinosaur that has been hidden shows up in the correct position, waits while the cat gets into its position, then they have their conversation, and we use wait as a way of controlling when they speak. And we just have to time the waits so that one waits while the other one is talking. So that is a quick and easy little animation. Oh, I better give this one a name. I'll call this one Beach Joke. And make sure that's saved, of course, as always, because I know all my big projects always glitch when they try and connect and save, and then I end up losing them sometimes. So always make sure you're saving. Hopefully that helps get you going on some animation projects with Scratch. And if you do make any that you want to show off, make sure you share them, and you can put a link in them down in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I will keep making more videos. See you next time.